Thursday night YouTube Live with independent Stampin' Up demonstrator Teresa Harper. I'm located in Oregon in the United States. Thanks so much for joining me. We are going to make a card today, and our featured stamp set is Hope, Love, and Joy. Let's get our channel up here and see who we have on, and then we'll get started. This should be a fairly quick card. I do have some alternate ideas for you on how you can pull in some stamp sets you may already have. So we'll get this up and get this going and see who we have on. Yay, the chat is live. That's always a good thing when the chat works first thing. All right. So we'll give everybody just a minute or two to get in. And then, hello, Laura. Thanks for joining me. We're going to have a little fun, make a card, show you some different ways to do it with some stamp sets, like I said, that you may already have on hand. I'm going to see if we like something, and if we don't, then we won't use it. But we're gonna give it a shot. Okay, so I did not pre-print some flyers that I should have to show you. Let's see. I should have printed, and I did not. That's okay. I've been doing other things and trying to get things situated here at the house, so I didn't get to that. Hello, Tracy. Hello, Cynthia. Thanks so much for joining me. So we're going to take a good look at Hope, Love, and Joy. I know Tuesday night we focused on, what did we focus on? Man, the swirl designs and the woolly friends. That's what we did. And we also used the lovely doilies, which we will be using again tonight. I love these little doilies, and we're going to use those again tonight on our card. And instead of the woolly friends, which you can't get right now, we're going to use Hope, Love, and Joy. This is currently available in my online store. It does come, you can get it as a bundle. Of course, you can always get the items individually, but if you purchase the bundle, 166858, you save 10% off of the two-piece price if you purchase them individually. So we are not using the dies tonight, but these are the dies. I love these dies, and they're meant to cut out these images, and then you can stick them in the individual words. But we're not cutting out tonight because that did not suit my fancy. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. It's like I said, it's a pretty simple card design. I've got a thick basic white card base here. And this is a standard A2 5.5 by 8.5. When you're using thick basic white, you definitely want to score it and then give it a nice crisp fold. If you don't score it ahead of time, if you just try folding it over, you don't get a nice crisp fold. It kind of wants to wrinkle up. So be sure to use your bone folder. Okay, then we've got a piece of designer series paper here. And this is from the True Blue Florals, which was a December product of the month. This is still available as far as I know. Still in stock, and they're while supplies last. You can get that paper for $5 when you make a $75 purchase. Okay, here in the United States. All right, then I've got a piece of cloud cover cardstock, and this is 3.5 by 4 3/4. I've pre-stamped this with the linen background stamp. What's it called? Lasting linen background stamp. I don't know if we're going to use this side or the other side, to be honest with you. I made my original sample card and I made it plain. And then I thought, well, what if I put the lasting linen on there? So we're just going to check that out and see if we like it or not. And if we don't, we're going to flip it over. Okay. So then we've got a piece of the lovely doilies in the small. This is the small in the real red. And I have pre-scored this. I did show you last night. Not last night. Sorry, Tuesday night. My throat seemed to go to heck again as soon as I go to get on. Just take and line up the center of the scallops. One scallop here, one scallop here. In your trimmer, give that a score and keep going all the way around until you get it scored all the way. And then fold in half, move over one scallop, fold it backwards. You're going to accordion fold as you go so that you get all the accordions. Okay, so I've already done that to save us a little bit of time. So far we've got these pieces here. And this is where we're going to have to decide. And this is the Casing Tuesday challenge for this week. It's number 548. Facebook has a group called Casing Tuesday, and you can join that group. They give you the measurements for the layout. I didn't use their measurements. I used my own. The layout's still the same. I just wanted to use my own. So this is the idea here. Before we can do this, though, we need to give it a ribbon treatment. So I'm taking the Secret Sea bordered open weave ribbon. And I'm going to add this down at the bottom here. And I'm going to tie a bow. Okay. Keep my ribbon as straight as it can, so I get a nice bow. Okay, there we go. Right, we'll finagle that a little bit. Okay. And then we're going to cut that off. And I'm going to hope that this side works, because otherwise I'm going to have to try and put that back on the other side. Okay. So you with me so far? We've got a piece of designer series paper that is 4 by 4 1/4 from the True Blue Florals. We've got cloud cover, 3.5 by 4 3/4, and I stamped that with lasting linen. We've done our ribbon treatment, got our lovely doily, and now we're ready to stamp. Okay. So our stamping, we're going to take a piece of basic white that is 1.5 by 3 3/4. Okay. I'm going to bring in my silicone mat so this does not move while I'm stamping it. Okay. Then we're going to bring in from Hope, Love, Joy. Is that what it's called? Man, I always want to get it all mixed up. Hope, Love, and Joy. Yep, I'm going to bring in the love. Now this is blank so that I can add something there. And I'm going to stamp this in cloud cover. Right? I think so. I guess that depends on which one we're making. Okay, I'm going to show you a couple of different, yeah, we're going to do this one. A different one. So we're going to do cloud cover. I'm going to put this near the bottom and center it like this. Okay. And then from Endless Love, which is not available at the moment, but it will be back in stock, I'm taking Sending You. Now, if you don't have Endless Love, you're not planning on getting Endless Love, I have an alternate for you using this exact same stamp set. You can do Fill the World With and stamp that up here instead of Sending You. That's not what I'm looking for right at the moment. So I'm going to take Secret C and I'm going to take Sending You and just stuck my finger in the ink pad. Never a good thing when you're trying to work with white. And we're going to put this right up here. I'm going to center it as best I can. Okay, so I've got Sending You. Now, what am I going to put in the center here? You have a lot of options. If you're just going with Hope, Love, and Joy, then we're going to take this little heart and I'm going to take real red ink. And I can ink that up and stamp it down. Okay? So I've got that. Then I'm going to go back and take So Much, the word So Much. This is also from Hope, Love, and Joy. And I'm going to stamp this right across there in Secret C. Okay, so that's what I have. Now, there are alternates that you can do. Let's flip this over. I'm going to do that again. Let's get our love. Okay, we'll get Sending You. Secret C. Okay, and then if you got this month's, the January paper pumpkin, I'm going to pull out this stamp from the January paper pumpkin right here. This stamp. I'm going to put this on a block. I'm going to get the real red. I'm going to ink that up. And I'm going to add that in there. Okay? So there's two different ways you could do it right there. If you have the paper pumpkin and you like this look best, use this one. If you don't, use this. Okay. If you don't have Endless Love, then use the Fill the World with Love. Let's go ahead and do this one right here. I'm going to do this one today. Let's go ahead and put this. What we're going to do is we're going to put this over the top of this. And I do like that with the lovely linen, so I'm going to go ahead and use that. And I just stamped that lovely linen background in cloud cover ink on cloud cover paper. And we're going to add this to our card, the front of our card, like this. I'm going to center it up as best I can. Okay. Then I'm going to take this piece. I'm going to add it on top. Center that up as best I can. It's a little bit taller than the DSP, but narrower. Okay, so now I've got that. Then I'm going to bring in my doily. And I'm going to put a little bit of glue in here in the center. And I'm just doing the center. I'm not trying to glue down the outside. Okay. I'm going to center this up as best I can. Try to get that even there. Okay, and then I can just push that down right in the center. See how that pops up? Gives that dimension because we did all those scores. Okay, then I'm going to take this and I'm going to add it to the top. All right, so what I'm going to do is I want to pop that up. So I'm going to put a couple of dimensionals here in the center. And then I'm going to put one on each end. Okay. And if you need the dimensions of those pieces, they're right here on my board, my glass mat studio. Okay, and then I'm going to center this up as best I can. And this card is almost done. Just like that. Okay, so now we need some embellishments. And for that, I'm bringing in the loose Valentine assortment. And I'm going to pick out the envelopes. I want 3 of the envelopes. Okay. So I'm going to put one here, and let's see, one right there. Okay. Now, let's get those out of the way so I don't knock them over and spill them. We're going to bring in our liquid glue. And I'm going to pick this up, put a dot of glue right there, set that down, repeat. This is kind of an easily replicatable card, and you can do it rather quickly. Okay, so that is the outside of our card. Now for the inside and the envelope. Let's see, let's grab an envelope. Oh, I already did the envelope, never mind. And we just need to do the inside. Because I didn't do that one apparently. Let me double check. Nope, I did not. Okay, there's quite a bit you could do with the inside, but this is what I chose to do. You could stamp Happy Valentine's Day, or what I wanted to do for this is bring in Fabulous Sayings. This is the product of the month for February. And again, with a $75 purchase, you can get this stamp set for $5. $5. So I'm going to take You're on My Mind. That's what I pulled out of there. Just letting somebody know that they're on my mind, and that's cloud cover and not secret C. Okay, so I'm going to put You're on My Mind. Right there. And then I'm going to take a piece of the Designer Series paper that matches. And I'm just going to put this on the bottom. This is a pretty narrow strip I had left over. So we're going to use it up. And this is a great way to use up those little scraps that you have. So I'm just going to put this down here. And there we go. Pretty quick little card. Okay. Now let's go ahead and put this in, and then I'll show you the alternates that I did and which stamp sets I used. Okay, so let's go ahead and put this in here. Got that. Here's my envelope. Okay, there's my envelope. Now, let's say you don't have Endless Love and you want to use something else. You don't have that. You don't have Paper Pumpkin. So you need some alternatives. Okay. So this one, I made this a little narrow. This is 1 1/4 inches instead of 1 1/2 inches. Same 3 3/4. That little heart comes from Hugs for Love. This was a stamp set that we had last Valentine's season. And it's this one right here. And so I just used this, and then to get that Sending You, because if you don't have Endless Love and you're trying to avoid that, that Sending You comes from sending you a big hug. And all I did was take a piece of tape and tape that off, tape off the A, ink that up in Secret C, remove these pieces, and then stamp it down. Okay? So there is an option if you have Hugs for Love. Now, if you don't have Hugs for Love, here's another one. I did Sending You from the Endless Love, and then this heart here comes from Sweet Conversations. And I stamped this heart in real red. I stamped it off, and this is Second Generation. And that's just a variation if you want something different. And then here's another one. Because if you don't have Endless Love, you can use the So Much from Hope, Love, and Joy. And then this stamp here comes from the stamp set Sending Love. This was also available last year at this time. So I used this one. Okay, this one's a little bit harder because it is not photopolymer. It's red rubber and you can't see through it. So it's a little bit of a guessing game, but that was my first try. So there we go. Anyway, I hope you like those options. This layout was pretty easy. And I love this Hope, Love, and Joy set because now just think of all the things that you could do if you take the love away and you use joy. They give you things here, but look at what you have in your collection that's just sitting around that may fit. That's what I wanted to show you tonight was you don't have to, you can pull out what you have from last year or the year before. It's something that's retired, doesn't matter. If it works, use it. You bought it, you love it, let's use it. All right, everybody. I want to thank you so much for joining me tonight. That's all I have. I'll be back on Tuesday night on my Facebook channel with some more projects for you. And hope to see you then. Good night.